Hey there! Welcome to Sneaking in the Green Room. I'm your host, Andrew Kushner. Each week I get to sit down with some of Portland's funniest comedians. Now let's be honest, these are some of the country's funniest comedians.
Right, yeah, could we be honest, for God's sake?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Today, I got a special one. This guy, top 3 of Portland's funniest last year?
Yeah.
With, come on, Amy Miller, Bree Pruitt, and Nariko Ott.
Yeah.
Dude.
Nariko Ott.
Oh, I gotta be honest here. When I first saw you perform, you did I think it was a chicken.
The rooster's bit.
Oh my God, he does a rooster bit. I cried. I honestly had tears coming down my eyes. You're brilliant.
Thanks, man.
Hilarious.
I would like to say that out of context, no one knows what the fuck that is.
No, they're not
the weirdest thing.
No, they've got to go look it up.
I think that's so funny. There's no looking it up.
Oh, there's no video of it?
Hell no. That's
Oh man.
secret prize.
That is a great
You
fucking bit.
can pick up the PDX comedy mixtape, and it is an early version of it is on there that isn't as funny as the one I do now.
But you are going to continue doing it. It's
Oh,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
you're gonna put it away.
No. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I like that movie a lot.
Well, Nariko, dude. What? Now, first off, you told me you're going to China.
I'm going to China.
How does this occur?
I owe a lot of tax money, and I'm just gonna
You're
cut
done.
out for
You're
a
done.
while until the America chills for a minute. No. My girlfriend's mom teaches at a university out there, and so me and her sister are gonna go visit her mom.
Sounds amazing.
And then yeah.
You gonna get some open mics over there?
Actually, I think there is an open mic in Nanjing, so I think I might hit that open mic. It would be pretty fun.
Oh, really?
I would love it if I found out there is a comedy club somewhere, because I would like to be like.
There's got to be a few of them.
Because I feel like I could probably muscle like a 5-minute spot. And I'm like, hey, flew a long way. Can I get a guest spot?
I can't imagine them saying no.
It'd be kind of cool.
No.
Or not.
Yeah, it might be kind of strange. Now, have you gotten your Rosetta Stone Mandarin? What do you
No, I haven't done anything. I've been really busy, so I haven't even really people will ask me oh, where are you flying into? And up until 2 days ago, I was like, southeast China, somewhere on the coast.
Man.
I didn't even know where I was. My girlfriend just she knows where we're going and stuff and what's going on, but I just haven't had a chance to even really look into it. I was kind of being blown away by the whole
It
experience.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's just let's go do this and we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, we've been saving up for 6 months to do it, so
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
It's probably not too cheap.
no, it's super
there.
super fucking expensive.
Well, okay, this got sidetracked. My apologies. Let's talk about you though.
Okay, I'm
I
going
guess-
to China.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I want to know about you
Oh.
as a child. Where did you grow up?
I grew up on the coast of Oregon until I was in 5th grade or so, 4th grade.
Like the southern coast or?
Coos Bay area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a little town called Winchester Bay is where I live.
I've seen that name I've driven down to Abandon a few times and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really gloomy and great. It's a cool place for a little kid to grow up because there's a lot of places to run and dig and what have you.
Makes total sense. And were you a happy kid growing up? Were you funny?
I'm just a goofy kid. I'm the middle kid, so I was I needed a lot of attention, and then that went away.
Older sister, older brother?
I have older brother, and then there's me, and then I have a younger sister, and then a younger brother.
Man, yeah, I was the middle. I have older sister, younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things didn't work out great for me. I don't know.
You got a little kid. You still had a little brother you beat up, so.
I did until he became 6'2".
Yeah,
he got all the fucking genetics.
That bastard.
I got screwed. He's a mathematician. Look what I'm doing here. I grow pot and I'm telling jokes for pennies.
That sucks.
Not even pennies. I get food.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know. Both my brothers could kick my ass too. So that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, my brother's a monster. Yeah, he got everything.
Yeah.
Every girl I've ever dated, they take one look at him and they know right away they're getting a shaft.
Oh yeah.
Well, not necessarily. No, he's.
I think that everybody's done that where they've dated somebody and then you see their siblings or even their friends and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, it's like getting the
I'm dating
iPhone.
the shitty one.
iPhone 2 when your buddy's getting the iPhone 5. You know, like what?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a bad analogy. So you were funny, happy little kid. When did you first get into like seeing comedy? Do you remember?
Oh, I've always been into comedy. Like ever since I was a little kid, I would. I don't know. I really liked. What I'm trying to think of like pre-comedy. What I even because I like okay. So like as a little kid, in elementary school, so I liked Gallagher, and so like that like just like you know that because those things are really accessible. There would always be a Gallagher special or something.
Were you a Nickelodeon guy at all?
Yeah, I watched some Nickelodeon.
You can't do that on television. Remember that show?
Yeah, I remember you can't do that on television.
That was like one of my first, like I don't know, like funny shows I would watch.
Uh-huh.
I don't. If I watched it today, I think it would be the worst show ever.
Yeah, I remember watching it and it being more weird and like than funny, but I was
no, I don't think
enjoyable.
It was just
I mean, Alanis Morissette was great on it.
Oh,
she was
I
great
totally forgot. There were some stars that came out of there.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really my show. Like, I'm trying to think of what else was. I watched I watched the Monkeys. Like they were reruns
love
of
the
the Monkeys. I watched the hell out of the Monkeys, and that was funny. They'd run around in fast motion. They'd go boring when something funny happened or was supposed to be funny.
Well, like stand-up. Who's the first stand-up comedian?
Okay, so definitely George Carlin, definitely Gallagher. But the first time I was like, and then a ton of Monty Python and getting into junior high, like Monty Python and Benny Hill.
Oh yeah.
Benny Hill, like I watched the shit out of Benny Hill. I thought it was so funny, and then there were boobs sometimes, so it was like perfect for a 12-year-old.
Intro to porn.
Yeah, I was just like, yay and yay again. But also, no, but then the first time I got into stand-up, like somebody doing a stand-up special that I consumed the shit out of it was Dennis Leary's No Cure for Cancer.
Oh man.
I had it on cassette, and me and my friend Justin Boatman, when we moved to Arizona, we would just take the bus to school, and we'd both have our own copy of No Cure for Cancer. We'd listen to it, and we'd ask each other, "Hey, what part are you on?" And he's like, "I'm on NyQuil. Where are you at?" And I'm like, "I'm on the asshole song." And we'd be like, "Cool." And then we'd listen to it, and I had like probably 4 copies of it because I just listened to it every day over and over again.
It was that I'm an Asshole was amazing.
No, it was
brilliant. And so I'm hearing some things because I'm a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona. So at some point you moved from the coast.
So like into 4th grade, we moved to Arizona. My family. First to a place called Apache Junction. My family averaged moving about every year and a half, which is another thing that helps you become a comedian is the constant unstable living situation.
Making new friends.
The losing any kind of consistency, and you're like,
oh yeah. I moved 3 times.
But always being the odd man out, always, you know. And so, as horrible as that situation is, it's one of those things where I'm like, I always felt like I had to be, I don't know, just like extra on or something, you know.
I hear you. No, my problem was I always people hated me.
Mm-hmm.
I have that Judas face that just people don't like.
Mm-hmm.
So I always would move to a new school.
Yeah, I'm feeling it right now.
I know it's that's what we call the Judas effect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. People at home, I apologize for my mug. Yeah, it is what it is.
No girls like that though? Don't they want to just punch you in the face? And isn't that kind of liberating?
Evil, like crazy women is the only women that are.
My friend likes to punch me, so that's.
I've been punched by a few women.
Yeah.
I've only punched one woman though.
Okay.
She wasn't a woman; it was a girl. I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
She pantsed me.
Oh, okay.
And it was a reactionary kind of punch. And
she sexually assaulted you?
No, it hit her in the back. And she got the wind knocked out of her. It was in like the middle of school.
Oh, no.
And I'd never seen the wind knocked out of anyone that I recall.
You thought you killed a young lady?
Her friends started screaming, "She's dying," as they stood over her. And I was like, I'm fucking going to jail for life. She's dead. And she got her air back. And I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. But no, I love my mom. I'm a huge lover of women. I do not, use any kind of physical violence.
Except for that. So how many other times did you punch that same girl?
That was it.
Oh, you just punched her that one time?
Yeah, and she became friends with me on Facebook, which is kind of weird.
Did you write, like, sorry I punched you in the back?
No, I didn't even bring it up. I'm a little scared that she might be, stalking me out.
Oh, like just doing knuckle push-ups, like, that whole time?
Exactly. She's got, like, a tattoo, and...
She's got a face tattoo ready to fucking...
Exactly. She's, oh, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, this somehow became about me, and this is not the way.
No, that's fine. I was living through you. I don't know, something about that scenario I found really attractive, and I'm like all about it.
I like it.
Hey, I'm just like, cool, great way to go. It'd be funny is like, she would be like getting that vengeance and she'd be like all pumped about it. But then I would have an erection and I would kind of take some of those. She'd be like, what are you doing? You're ruining this. I'm like, no, it's cool. Just kill me. I deserve it. She'd be like, what the fuck, dude? And I'd be like, sorry. I didn't know this was a thing I had either that was going to happen.
Yeah, you never do.
I'm sorry.
But again, I took the attention and put it on me. So let's get back to you.
Okay.
Comedy. When did you think, hey, I want to get up on a stage and try something? Or were you a writer? What
the fuck happened? In junior high, I started playing like music really poorly, and so I started a bunch of like bands and stuff with friends, and then but none of it ever really happened or became anything. And then right after high school, did it again, started a band with some friends, and then got absorbed into another band that was a lot more serious and better than I was, but I was in it, and so I did that for a long time. So basically I started, and then with that I had to tackle like stage fright and stage related things.
Gotcha.
And then that band kind of dissolved after like a long time, and I started a joke band with some friends, so I started being like comedic and whimsical on stage and stuff in general. And then around this, a few years after that, while that's still going on, my friend Adam asked me to join his sketch comedy group called the Bully Mammoth out of Phoenix, and we that was actually twofold because my friend Adam always knew me as like his funny friend, and he wanted me to help like write for his sketch group. But he called me out of the blue one day and was like, "Hey man, if I gave you 2 months, could you do 10 minutes of stand up before this show?" And like that goes to show how little we both knew what it would take to prepare 10 minutes of stand-up.
Oh yeah, I'm still working on that.
Oh my god, yeah. It took me a whole year to write 3.
Yeah. 3 that you actually love.
No, 3 that you're like, where it works and you're like, oh no. That's what I always tell people is like, after the first, so if I started that January of like 2011, which is when I count it, but it was actually before
you're
that.
So new.
Yeah. So like, 2010, I actually like did like this open mic, and I started doing a couple of open mics, but I don't count it because I wasn't serious. But 2011, when I started, like if I started that January, then that December I had a joke where when I did it and the crowd laughed, I was like, oh no, I've been bothering people up until now. like that's like I'm like, oh no, that's what a real laugh sounds like, and I hadn't had one of those yet, but I thought I had.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
And so you're in Arizona. When did you come to the Pacific Northwest?
I came in 2011. It was like May of 2011.
And was that a comedy move, or it was?
Yeah. So in Arizona. I was in college full time. I was writing for a sketch group. I was in a band.
What school?
Community college. No, it was just like in Mesa Community College. Go fighting paychecks. I have no idea what the fuck we were.
Yeah, I went to Glendale Community College. We were vaqueros, Spanish for cowboys.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway. See, 2011.
Yeah. So I was really busy, and I just really wanted to do stand up. This relationship with a girl was like getting to a place where I was like, either I'm gonna have to like marry her and then get a real job and do all of that stuff, which is fine, or I'm gonna have to like really make a choice on like what I want to do. So we broke up. I quit the band I was in, and then moved up here and the sketch group, and then I moved up here and just started doing stand up like every single second I could.
Now, did you know anybody here, or you just
Yes. I was like, no, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a couple friends up here from Arizona that I had known.
Any local comics that you
No, nobody in comedy.
So you were completely new to the scene.
I had to just hang out and not know anybody, and which makes it a lot harder. It's hard to get come into a new scene and not have any skills and not be funny and hang out with strangers. But
absolutely. I mean, what was like one of the first rooms that you did? Do you recall?
Yeah, I remember. Let's see. What was the? Oh, okay. So the first open mic I did in the city was at a place called Gypsies, and it was like 122nd
Ooh.
and like like up in like by the I-5 or whatever, or the 208 or whatever.
Sandy area or up.
Yeah, it was like right that way. So it was so it was just way out there, and the guy who ran it, I don't see him around anymore, so I don't even remember his name, but I remember it was me, and then I actually said hi to a couple other guys that they sat us down, and he goes, "All right, guys, before we start, just you're new here," so I'm like, and he gave us this long pitch for a business he was trying to start.
Damn way.
This was basically, it was YouTube, only you had people pay you to watch your videos.
Oh boy.
And I'm sitting there the whole time going, what is going on? Like, because if there's anything you know about the internet, people love to pay for stuff. Like, they love it. They cannot wait to give you their money.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just such a ridiculous idea. We're just like, I'm trying to remember the comics that I was with. But I met Richard Bain that night before he moved, and he moved like a week later. But him and I like were hanging out at the same table, and he was like, "Oh, cool dude, they shared a beer." But he was like a really nice guy, and he didn't know me. And he went up on stage at this open mic and killed so hard, like crushed so hard that I was like, it was akin to like, I don't know, like looking up the ladder to a crane. Like from the bottom and like going, oh, this ladder goes way up, and I'm way down here. Like it was a real like learning experience. And then I went up and did the things that I called jokes at the time, and they had people like looked at me confused like the whole time, like what is he? Why? So so that was really fun. Jonah Newman was one of the other comics I was hanging out with that night. Me and Jonah Newman, who actually isn't around much anymore, but was a really funny guy. Him and I sat and were forced to listen to this guy's pitch for this.
Did you make an investment?
I did not. I did not invest my no money in his shit idea.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. I worked for a company like they actually had you go store to store, not door to door, to try and put them on a website called Respond.com, where it would send, it would be a search engine where people would go on and you couldn't get their phone number. You'd have to send them a message and they'd have to message you back. And it failed after like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it was the worst fucking job ever.
Also at that same open mic, did the pitch, put our name on the list, and then before the thing he pulled all the comics into the other room, so the whole audience. And then we did a group prayer, and then we did, which by the way, no other mic in the city before or since. I don't know what that was. It's so crazy.
Man, that's what we need is group prayer.
It was a group prayer, which was, I mean, whatever, but it was. That's fine. That was that person's thing.
The place was called Gypsies.
It was called great. Yeah, it was called
So you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah. So that was a really crazy.
Is that over by like the Wooden Chicken? I don't know if you know that area.
No, I don't know. Was it the Gypsy?
Either way.
Crazy. So that was my first experience, and I was just like, woo! And then I went, and then from there it was a lot of hanging out. Virginia Jones used to run a mic at the Hungry Tiger, and Hungry Tiger 2. And I used to, and that was one of my favorites to go to, and that's where I met like Dan Weber and Trevor Thorpe and Xander DeVoe, and those were kind of, and at that time it was kind of funny. There was the groups, so me, Dan, Xander, Trevor, like none of us were like funny at all or even approaching funny. What else we had?
That's crazy to even think about. I mean, just seeing Dan Weber and you these days, just how progression. I mean, all of us start off.
No, yeah, but we both started off around the same time, like all of us actually, all within the same month or two, like, which is really weird. It was just one of those things where it's like a new group came in and it was us, and we were all like our jokes were a little darker and a little like more fucked up, and then there was a group that was already probably like six months ahead of us. Then they were like really whimsical, like their jokes were really silly and they're sillier, it was just their style. And that was like Denny Feltz and Nick Gomes and Campy Draper and who else? There's John Washington was in that group, but too, and
Schlesinger.
Shane Hosey. It's just there's like their core group, and that was like their and that's why you gravitate toward people.
Phil Schallenberger, that's what it was.
Phil Schallenberger. Yeah, Phil Schallenberger is always kind of an outsider. Like he's doing such his own thing.
Yeah, no, he's on the
that
other
everyone
plan.
respects, but it was also like so he can like move freely about. But that was. So yeah, that's just you gravitate to the people whose like humor you just naturally are like more inclined to. So and then there was the other group that was all established and killing it like and get ready to leave. Funches was just about to move.
Carmel.
Carmel, Sean, Lopez, everybody. So it's just weird.
So I guess this brings me to my next question, which you may not want to answer, but I mean, do you have a plan to try and move to a bigger place at this point?
Yeah, eventually. Like right now, I'm really enjoying Portland. I think there's a lot of like cool opportunities here. I want to travel. I want to just start just going to all the different cities and just sort of like just hitting all the cool indie rooms, meeting a lot of people. I just want to spend some time doing that, and I want to really focus on comedy too, even more than I have been, because I do it all the time now. But I also want to really pare my life down to have it even and consume more of it and devour it completely. Feed my life to the giant smiling mouth that is the comedy god. Just feed it. Feed that mouth, that hole that will never be filled in myself. I will give it. I will give it to it.
Oh.
That's what that logo is at Harvey's, by the way. That big smiling mouth. That's just the devourer. You feed it laughter. You feed it laughter from the crowd. And it's never full.
No, never.
But it will smile upon you.
It's like the Little Shop of Horrors.
I should name that god Guffaw. That is Guffaw, the comedy god.
Guffaw. I like it.
Yeah.
That's got a good...
Does that sound strong, right?
Yeah. Well, I want to kind of move this into another area. I kind of started the show to discuss with actual comedians, since I'm the newbie, just trying to get an idea of what to do and what not to do. There shouldn't be a rule book, let's be honest. I mean, it's...
But I do happen to have one here. What now?
Well, there's been a lot of talk in Portland especially, but across the country about PC culture.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, starting to do comedy, I bought into it like an asshole, and I thought, these people aren't laughing at me because they just are too sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And it had nothing to do with my material being horrible and just bad and not smart. And now, what's your opinion? I mean, people are losing it, kind of saying, "Oh, you can't tell jokes in Portland. You can't talk about this and that." What's your opinion?
I don't think so. I feel like you can do, you can talk about anything, but I mean, the trick is like, you just have to be really careful about how you're approaching it. Like, you can't just be a dick. If you wanna talk about something, like anything, like it's just really important to come up, you have to really make sure a crowd understands who you are, and your approach and why you're doing it and saying it. So sometimes they don't. I had a joke about turning down. I just tried to do it at open mic once, but I turned down an acting gig on a video shoot because I thought like the story they were doing was super sexist. I was like, this is the most horrifying sexist script I've ever read, and I'm like, I already said yes to it, which was the problem, because it was an acting gig and all sweet, that sounds fun.
You take whatever.
And then and I was like, oh, that sounds great. And then I get the script and oh no, I'm not doing this. This is horrendous. And so I wanted to talk about that on stage, but there was so much like backstory to get through and describe it and stuff that by the time I got there, people weren't really sure what I was, so. Yeah. So if you ever hear me call me sexist, that's what that was about.
Gotcha.
No. So yeah, I don't think so. I think there are people that will, and the other thing too is there are people that it's easy to get to take it too far on the other side too, because and I think that's just because of the way the internet works. Like it's impossible to just have a discussion with somebody, you just get pissed instantly. Like you go straight to like 8.5 just when anybody says anything like, you know, like I don't really think that's true. You're like, what the, you know, you get super pissed. And I think it's that nature. It makes you immediately don't see the other person on Facebook, on that Facebook comment as a human being.
Yeah.
That's gone. Whereas if you were talking to them in person, you'd probably have a pretty decent conversation where both would learn.
Exactly.
Whereas online through Twitter and Facebook, it's such a horrendously bad way to communicate that we don't see each other as human beings, and it's I've seen both sides of it. I've seen assholes who are idiots want to try to be funny, but they don't understand what the fuck is going on. I've been that guy too. I've been both sides of this thing, and I've also seen the other side where people get offended by something, and then maybe take it too far and go maybe get way too insulted when in fact it's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I had a conversation with another comic he tries to skirt the line of...
Who the fuck was it?
I'm not going to name names. I will not name names.
Okay, no what?
But I think the issue really is there's a lack of confrontation. And I don't mean confrontation, but the ability to just go up to somebody, let's say somebody does not like a joke of mine and I know that they didn't like it, instead of brewing and just getting upset by it and then saying something on Facebook a week or two later,
right.
Have the balls to go up and just talk to somebody and say, what did I say that offended you? And let's have a normal one-on-one conversation. Right. And I think we need to open up communication more.
I think so too.
And I think people are scared to just talk to other people and ask them, I don't know. And what I said to him was, go up to the person who you thought you offended and ask them, what did I do? And maybe you both can come to some understanding. But I don't know. I just think if you tell a joke in a smart way and you are able to put it in a light from, you know, where you're coming from, and it's not sexist or it's, you know, you're not coming off as just being a dick, it works. But at the same time, like you said, there's moments where people take things too far, too sensitive.
Like nobody's perfect in any of these things. But yeah, I think that's true. There also is. I'm also really uncomfortable with. It's another online thing that's started, but the just exiling people. Like, so someone does something that you don't like, or so you've decided that's not a person. It's one thing to cut them out of your life, where you're like, I don't really want to get myself involved with that person. I've done that plenty of times. But it's another thing to be like, hey, I'm gonna call up all my friends, and then we're all gonna together exile a person. That's like. There's a level of violence there that I don't think people talk about a lot, and I think it is violence. It's a kind of emotional violence that I think is worse than getting punched in the mouth. Frankly, like I would rather get punched in the mouth if somebody has a disagreement then all of a sudden you're like, oh, no one's talking to me anymore. Like that's a really cruel and mean thing to do, and that I think that is sometimes the thing like we should do. There's times where we do that, and but there's also. I think it should be really reserved as well for like real villains, and because it's a really mean thing to do.
Yeah.
So.
No, there's a big difference between saying shitty jokes and being a shitty person who's actually
exactly. And like I said, like it's easy
or whatever.
And it's easy with the internet to be like to misunderstand, just misunderstand, and to overreact, like not overreact, but to like I said, just where you want to commit that thing, like where you're like this person, I want to shame them publicly or whatever, and I'm like that's a really violent act, and I feel like
it's almost like a passive mob mentality, almost like where
it is a mob mentality, and I just it's one that when I watch it online, I'm very uncomfortable with it, and I don't like the idea. Whereas although I don't mind telling somebody, that they suck online and stuff, but there's a difference between an individual act and a group action.
That's great words of advice. And here's another thing I wanted to ask you about your writing process. How do you find, time and just, the energy to? What do you do? Do you force yourself to write?
So get the fuck
I know, it just
this thing.
Fucking jumped up and grabbed
What?
you.
How many times did Tim hit this? Like 12 times?
Oh, but the episode's going to be so hard to watch.
Right?
Oh.
He's He's an active fellow.
He is active.
Yeah, like going on a road trip with him is like moving with your cat.
Oh, I can't
It's
imagine.
so brutal.
Oh my God.
It's like having your cat in the cab of your U-Haul. It's like,
oh boy, you'll never fall asleep while you're driving.
he's active.
Yeah.
So
He asked me the other day at Funhouse. He came up to me. This wasn't the other. It was a few
We'll edit this
months
out.
ago. No, this is great. He asked me if he could borrow my car. You could just. Can I borrow your car? He just came up to me and I'm like, no, Tim. Like, anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me use your house then. What was writing? Oh, yeah. So, I have a full-time job, and that sucks. No, that's a cool thing, but so finding time to write is really difficult. What I do, I like to go to as many mics as I possibly can, and then go to as many in a day and a night as I can. And if I have an idea, it'll usually. So I like to. Something I did early on was I asked everybody how they write. Like I just started asking everybody I know, what do you do when you go write? And some people say, oh, I go for a walk and I talk to myself. Some people are like, I jog or I bike and then I'll think about something. Or somebody was like, I like to just sit in a coffee shop with some music in my hand, just write it all out with a piece of paper. So I just tried all of those things too. And actually I do a mix of everything. Like so I'll sign up at a mic last. I'll just, like there's 30 lit names, I'll put my name 30th, and I'll go sit somewhere quietly and try to like work out. I have a list of ideas in my phone, just on a notepad, and anytime something tickles me. Anytime something like just, I'm like, oh, that might be something, I write it down, just that premise, and then I'll go take that thing, and I'll sit and have that hour and a half or so to write.
That's such a smart idea to force. I mean, when you're in that environment,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's hard though, the open mic, because all your friends are there, and they all want to hang out and talk, and they all have shit going on, and it's really interesting, and it's super interesting because they're your friends and they're fucking hilarious. But also but you have to be kind of strict on yourself sometimes, and so if you're being kind of hounded, I'll take a walk and talk to myself, and I'll try to work out like what I thought was funny. And then I come back and now I have to make something funny on stage. And I usually find that if I take something and I have to force myself to do or die by it, if there's anything in it, I'll probably find something, And it might not be the part I liked or the part I thought it was, but if something gets a laugh, I'll take that part and or maybe I'll try the whole thing again, see if it works again or in a different way. But usually I'll find that one nugget and I'm like, oh, that's the funnier part, maybe I can expand that. And so also sometimes just going to the mic and talking to people and hanging out and you're bullshitting, something else will come up. Or you'll sit and you'll listen to another comic talk about something or just a subject and you're like, oh, I had a thing about that. Like that's how I wrote that joke about the mass shootings, about where people want to start a race war, the race war joke.
Yep.
So
you'll have to look it up. You'll just have to come watch his shows and talk about it.
I have a joke about there's multiple violent attacks that have happened where white people want to start a race war, and then because somebody brought that up at a mic, they were like, "Oh, this guy wants to start a race war," and and then they were just kind of talking about stuff, and then I realized that the funny idea in that was, I'm like, oh, why would white people win that war? That doesn't make human sense. And so that was the idea that I started.
Exactly.
So I actually that was at Chris Katami's mic at
Kelly's?
Kelly's Olympian, where I went in there and some comic had brought up that idea, not my premise, but just that was what that person's goal was. And I went up on stage and said that out loud, and then I got a big laugh. And then by the next mic I went to, I had 2 or 3 jokes on the subject, and then by the next mic I had 4 or 5, and that was in that first day. And then the second day when I brought it into a place, it was most of the way there. So.
That's a great idea of just giving the younger comedian an idea of what
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, some different options, some different ideas to get motivated and get thinking.
Yeah.
Well, man, we're already at the end of this. It just flew by. And usually I'd ask, you what shows are you doing coming up here soon? But I think you're going to be in China, so we won't do that.
Right. In March, I'm going to be
there.
opening for Joe Mandy down at Helium.
That's what I wanted to ask you. You just had something huge.
I was hosting for Brian Hossein.
Brian
That was
Hossein.
super cool. He was such a nice dude. It was the best time.
You're talking way outside my league. This is just like hosting for Brian Hossein. Just saying
fun.
that. Did
It
you
was
think
fun.
10 years ago you would say something like that?
Yes.
See, that's called confidence.
No, it's not confidence. It was just like, if you can't imagine it, then
It'll never
why,
happen.
right? Or that, and why would you do it? You're all like, I'm just gonna do this, then I'm probably gonna just, I mean, I am really humble about it though, but I was like, but yes, I could imagine it.
Dude, I love that.
I was a
answer.
daydreamer.
Well, Nariko, where can people find you if they want to find out what you're doing? and where you're at?
There's narikoott.com, NARIKOOTT.com, and then at Nariko_Ott. That's my Twitter and Instagrams. And then I think it's the same with my Facebook /Nariko_Ott.
Oh man, this has been a pleasure.
No.
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day before you're leaving the country,
That's
leaving
cool.
the continent.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I might die in a plane crash.
Yeah, you're probably safer than all of us. to
Right?
be
I'm
honest.
probably gonna disappear over the ocean like so many other flights. I'm gonna end up on that
Don't
fucking
say this.
that Lost Island. That Lost Island. I'm gonna go
boy.
there.
Yeah. Well, what I've heard is
I'm gonna be pushing a button in a hatch.
if you have to eat human,
Uh-huh.
the bottoms of the feet are the most delicious.
Really?
That's what I've heard.
I wouldn't even go there.
I don't know. Who knows?
No, that's fine. I would just not butt or groin, and then I would definitely do legs. That's the good meat. Like people are like frogs like that. You want to go leg.
I wonder if the foot is for flavor. Just from years of
Being in a boot.
just disgusting that sweat. Who knows? Maybe I'll marinate it and give it some sort of a nice
You know what?
taste.
Foot probably real marbly like something, right? I don't know. What the
lots
fuck's
of
in a
fat content.
You're the one that brought up feet being
Oh,
delicious.
boy, I don't
Wait,
know.
why are human feet good?
I have no idea. This
Definitely
is
never
weird.
eat brain. That is the fucking key to
Just-
life.
Oh yeah.
The fucking like protoviruses in there. There's the prions. You don't want to eat that.
Nariko, again, thank you. Folks, this has been another amazing episode. Go out and see Nariko. He is just blowing up all over the city.
Yeah.
And,
Let's go. Come to Portland. We'll eat some feet.
There you go.